Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome. Twiz here. This is going to be our video about how we qualified for the World Cup. Cover H and I'll be going through our duo games, trying to give you guys a little bit of insight about how we play and how we managed to qualify for the World Cup. So our drop is Sunny. We're always aiming to land together on the main. The very top main, this is what we call it. Always looking to land together on top to fight anyone that might be contesting us. You see Cover, he gets a good drop. Instantly starts going for some beams. This guy, I think he actually gets tagged a few times. Nameplate's on. Let's also show damage effects. So you can see he took quite a bit of damage, I think, if we can get close. Oh no. We only hit him once. But this is the most important place for us to drop early game. So always make sure we hit one of these geysers out here on the outside. Always hit a geyser and then come in together. And then we split off and loot. Just try to gather as many mats as you can in the early game is probably the most important thing. So we're always making sure we're smacking all the torches, getting all the pots from out of here, making sure we're trying to focus on getting as many mats early game as we can, so we can take high ground and win the fight. So Cover moves up into the middle. Speed this up a little bit. I move on down to triple floor. We try and take some space, find some more loot. Cover's got an AR, an SMG, and a pump. He's got some shield as well, so he's ready to fight. He's ready to push. It's like a basic checklist at the start. I've got a attack shotgun, a rifle, and an SMG. So again, that basic kind of fighting checklist that you need before you try and start fighting early game. You got to have that shotgun. You got to have some shield. An AR and an SMG is nice as well. So Cover's over here trying to get some info. I'm still farming it out. It's pretty obvious like where they are, so Cover decides to push over to me. And now we pretty much have to fight for high ground, because our goal in pretty much all of our fights is to get high ground and then hold it from there, deal damage where we can, and then isolate one and try and kill them. So Cover's popping shields. I was Jay chilling. I can see them just through here. So this is like a really good third person peek where you can sit just underneath this quarter wall and pretty much see everything that's happening, and unless they spot the bush, like they're almost never going to see you. So it's really strong for information, knowing when to push. So Cover gets stunk a little bit. I have to move it back around to the side because I can't see any angles from there. Cover gets into a fight. I go up along the side again, trying to provide any kind of assistance that I can, making sure that I've always got Cover covered, and he's going in there getting the kills. He gets one, and then we just chase the other guy down. He goes inside, so make sure we go together. So Cover goes in through the window, so I make sure I join him. So I always want to make sure we're going together. Cover goes over. I go in through the top, and then we pretty much just chase him down. Should be a free kill. Cover goes up for the fight. See you later. So that's our early game. So we always land up top, always work our way down, try and hold high ground over people. Grab all the loot. Hit the campfire. Always good to remember the natural campfire. I think we had a crate drop here as well. I think that's what we're looking at. I think that's what we're going to get. We go and get the crate. Hit the rest up here. Find some loot. Make sure we loot everything. Loot's the most important part. Basically, like right now we're just prioritizing brick. So we always farm the statues on top. We always farm the pots in the middle. Brick is like the main focus when you're in Sunny. You pretty much want to always leave with 500 brick. Trying to get some tags. So now this is pretty much where we always meet up when we leave Sunny. We pretty much always meet up at the bottom, and basically we're just gonna fly pretty much right on top of someone. That's the main goal. So we decided to go this way. We decided to go across to like what we call Povo, like the poverty side of Sunny, where you got the balls and you got some spawns out here. Try and get some tags. Get some tags on those guys. We know he's lost some shield. So we go in, fly in on him. We know that one's over here, and we know that one's over here, right? So what we do is we group up, and we try and focus the one that's closest to us. So cover goes up. We build up for the high ground. Now I'm having a look, because we've taken high ground over the top of the guy underneath us. So we know that he's underneath us. So now we have high ground, so let's have a look and see where his teammate is. So that's what I'm doing. I'm having a look right now. Having a look at his teammate. I remember telling cover he's over there. He's a bit far away. So you see, like, he's split now, so it's a 2v1 for us. So he comes in, his teammate's trying to play some time. Cover's in on box, he's on wall, he gets tagged once, but I'm on top. Always providing that, like, support from up high, you know? You have to be aware of where both enemies are. So awareness to know that one's inside and the other one's coming in from behind. Give him a quick beam, take away all of his shield. I say he's low, he's low, he's low. So now what we do is we switch. So now that we know that this guy's inside and he can't get out, and we know that we've just cracked this guy's shield, so we switch focus, we come over here, we fight this guy instead. Drop down, hit a nice little grey white shot. I know he's white, cover goes up with a flint knock. And now we know that they're both inside. We know one's really low. I've still got the bush, which I can use to trade because I've only got a tac shotgun. Here comes the zone. So the zone comes in, so we're just outside of zone. But at this stage, we know one's white. We know he's really low. So it's safe for us to go in for the push. We need to finish this fight. We need to get the loot. So basically the focus here was to make sure we always stick together. Because if we get separated, there's a chance at a 2v1. So cover drops down to get a pump through the window. He tries to get a flint knock as well. Thankfully doesn't launch himself off the edge. His teammate comes out the back. Boom, he gets one tacked. He was going to die to zone. Try to block him off to make sure he can't crawl off the edge. Because we've got to make sure we get both piles of loot. So if he crawls off the edge, that's bad for us. So now it's a 2v1. So basically now we just have to track him down, like figure out where he is. I didn't actually know he was up here. We probably could have seen him if we jumped up top. He's hiding from us. But we just make sure we stick together. Always make sure it's a 2v1 and not 1v1s. We get stuck a little bit in here. We go back around the outside because we're not sure where he is. Now we know he's in the roof. So we start breaking in through the roof, start taking the roof, and he goes down. Yada yada yada, we run in. We know he's in the bathroom. I know I've got the right to left peek, but I know I've also got a bush, an attack. So I can absorb his first shot and then still get in there. So I tank the first shot, put him down. That was the first fight of the day for us. So probably the slowest fight. We're a little bit nervous, so we just took it nice and slowly. Didn't mess it up. Then we hobble into zone. Our mats are like, okay, I think. 124 builds, yeah, not bad. So now we just pretty much like grab as many mats as we can. We didn't use the balls at all in our World Cup. We didn't use them because we don't think that they work very well. When you're in a ball, you're not really ready to fight. You're not ready to take shots. You're not farming mats. You're not actively being a user of the map. You know, you're just rolling through. And I don't think that's a good way to play. We don't think that's a good way to play. So we use the geysers instead of balls. So you won't really see us use balls at all in these games, which is good for us. So we have a look at the zone. So the zone's coming in as sunny, half off the map. So now we need to try and get some mats, maybe get a good spot, maybe see if we can pick up a kill as well. Probably the last fight we can have before we get ready for late game is probably this zone. After this time, it's almost too risky to take fights, so cover's hopping on through. These faces are really good for brick. They'll give you some good brick if you've got nothing else to farm. The pots as well, they're really good. So we're just farming up. So our goal was pretty much to try and set up somewhere along the high ground, next to a geyser if possible. We always try and sit next to a geyser if that's possible. Let me just pause this and get back to us real quick. Where are we? Cover agents was. Here we go. So we see these guys, they're like having a little build fight outside, and we see that there's free beams. So we've got to make sure that we go for it at the same time. So always lining it up. Wait for it. Oh, I can't see. Boom, boom, boom. And then he gets lasered. He's white. So we always talk to each other. I try and hit the boogie bomb. I'm trying to spray him down. Cover's over there getting in box. So I know like my best support I can do right now is try and take high ground. So I shoot that guy down. I instantly build up. Cover builds up as well. He's going for some trades. So now we know that we have them underneath us in the box. So now it's about working, about getting inside and making sure we both stay alive when we get the trades. I say, oh, he's going up, he's going up. So I go up a little bit, but then he didn't actually fully go for it. I say to cover, he's in my box, he's in this box, he's in this box. It's really important to have good comms when you're around the box. What are you doing to the box? Are you taking the walls? Is he in there? Is he looking to get a shot on you? There's a lot of different status calls you can make in a box that really make the difference when you're working in a team. Cover H goes in. He does that. He'll go in. So always being aware of what your duo partner's doing. I drop in with him. He goes for a trade. He goes for a really nice shot. He gets the pump. Spray him down with my SMG. And cover says to me here, he's got the wall. He's got the wall. He's going to go for the edit. Okay, so we just wait. We just wait. He opens up the window. And he gets sprayed for it. So this was like a really good kill for us. You see we got scars, we got blue SMGs, we got mats, heavy sniper. You know, this is like really good loot that we needed to set ourselves up for a good end game here. So this was perfect timing. This was the last kills we need before we started to play for late game. So grab the loot. Pretty easy. Make sure we're as close to... We'll probably split our mats. Half each of your mats, so you've got the same count on both players, and then we just focus on rotating. So we know like there's probably no one up here anymore. They're probably rotated down. You see the zones off the volcano, so they'll probably come off the volcano now. They'll probably come in. So this guy's is not in. So we're looking like down here. Any kind of like spot we can get next to a geyser is going to be ideal. So we got to know where the geysers are. Really important map knowledge, and we got to guess how many of them are going to be taken, and then find one that's not. So we rotate in on foot as much as possible, trying to get a nice early rotate. You can see there's still 50 seconds left on the zone. We got plenty of time, but we want to get in as early as possible. Early rotations are super key. It's unfortunate we run up in behind these guys. So I used like quite a bit of mats. Cover gets heavy sniped, which is so unfortunate, but he gets sniped. As you can see, he's got bandies and minis. He'll be fine. He'll patch himself up real quick. So now I know cover's just got sniped, so I'm trying to get around these guys. So I use a fair amount of mats here. I probably could have used like less mats. See, it's like what, 10, 20, 30, 40, probably like 100 mats here. I probably could have used a bit less getting across, but I wanted to make sure that we don't want to give these guys any weakness, you know. If I show these guys weakness by using not many mats or by letting them tag me too much, then they can flip the switch and they can come and kill us. So that little bit of investment in mats is worth it for me, because I don't want us to be in danger of getting munked or getting pushed aggressively. So cover drinks the 50. So he's back up now. Zone pulls in. So now we have to have a look again at where the geysers are. So we know for a fact that there's a geyser here. There's a geyser up here. There's one here. There's one here. And there's one back here as well. So we pretty much got to pick the best one. And I think we go through this geyser and we try and get into this one. A good nice edge zone. If you build a solid box on the end, you can use it to hold people. You can use it to get really good tags. And we know we got to get there as soon as possible. So as soon as the zone pops, we drop minis, and like the first thing we do is try and get these guys to rotate in front of us, because we want to go down, get to the geyser, we want to get in zone. So we're going to see if these guys are going to use any movement first. So what I'm saying is, I'm saying to cover, like if you grab that heavy sniper and you snipe that wall, I can spray him in the back. I can spray him in the back, try and do some damage. Boom, 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 spray, spray. Get some tags on them. Just try to get these guys to use their movement. Try and get them to move into the zone. See if we can get a free rotation out of them. And also, it's good pressure as well, because we don't want them like pushing back and trying to fight us. Again, same thing. They were turbo building the wall, so they were fine, but just about that pressure, trying to see if we can get a free rotate out of these guys. Let them know that, you know, you guys got to get out of here, we're going to punish you for it. 30 seconds left, and I have a look around to the left and I don't see anyone. So the call is rotate left down to the side of these guys and get onto the geyser. They pad over the top. which is a bit too late for us to use it, but that's okay. We have the guys there, so we can still rotate in for free. Everyone on this side is already rotated. There's a couple of players back there, but they don't bother us. You see, when we're running, we try to not... If we know we're not getting shot at, we use nomads, saving as many as we can. I used like a bit back there because we were getting shot at, but on this rotate, it's free. So don't use any mats. You don't have to. Now we're having a look for a spot to go. You know, where's the best spot? Where can we set up? The call comes down to being this guy's we decide to set up next. So I like building metal in this stage of the game because metal like really deters people from using RPGs on you, using clingers, spraying through your walls. It's a lot harder for people to spray through your walls if you're using metal. So I like to use it as one of my first materials. Brick works really well too. You kind of want to avoid setting up in these kind of scenarios with wood. I believe at this stage of Storm Surge winning, we're about 800 damage above, if I remember correctly. Basically, our goal here now that we are in zone is to try and deal as much damage as we can and pick up any free kills. So any players coming in late from the back, any players being pressured into the edge from each other, always looking for beams, always looking for people to damage, balls to break. If there's balls sitting in a base, we'll almost always double spray it. We'll break the ball. We don't like balls. We don't use them, so we don't think anyone else should too. So we always break them. Double spray those balls, apply that pressure. Again, same thing. Like, you can see cover's got 300 ammo. We got tons of AR, so we just let it rain. We just start applying pressure. One of the things that I want to talk about is when you're in a box like this, it's really important to keep track of how many of your walls are weak. So when you open a window and then you re-edit it, you know the wall's really weak. It's one shot. Same thing on the wall that I used here. So one thing I try and do is only keep one wall at a time weak. So if I'm peeking out of this window, I'm going to wait until this wall has fully repaired before I peek out of this window. Because if I re-edit this and it's see-through and I instantly open up a window here, this guy's going to spray me in the back if he gets the chance. Chances are I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to take some shield damage in the back, super unavoidable damage. So a really important thing to do is to always keep one wall low at a time. And let your walls repair before you open up another window. It's one of the best ways to stay safe. Get the free kill on there. Always trying to look for any kind of frags or pickups as we go. Always really important. Working with the heavy snipe, trying to get any sprays in. So zone shifts over to us. So our general rule is to go up one. So whenever we cop the zone, we always go up one more, just to deter people from landing on top, trying to take the high ground. It gives us more vision as well. Vision is really important. A little bit more presence as well within the zone. So we've got one. Cover went up 2. 1 or 2 is generally fine as long as your base is nice and supported. So we got metal and brick on the bottom, so it's not going to get knocked down anytime soon. And then we just decide to knock these guys down because their wood's like really not well attached. You can see there's only a couple of walls hanging it on. There's a lot of mats being used. So we break it all down, force them to reuse that wood, force them to reconnect again. And then we get landed on top of, but that's fine. Like if we ever get landed on top of like this, we just kind of let it go. Like there's almost nothing that we can do in this kind of scenario. We're still good in the position that we're in. So it makes sense not to over contest anyone if they land on the top of us. Just kind of let them have it. Cover might look for some cheeky edits, but I told him just come down. Just come down. We got a really good spot. We got really good beams. We don't need that high ground right now. There's geysers. There's plenty of opportunity to get high ground later on. So again, same thing. Open up my cone. Take some shots. Always trying to apply pressure. Take shield off people. Get storm surge techs. There's so many reasons to shoot people. So we just always take every shot we can. So yada yada yada. We just shoot these guys. So here we see the zone goes far. So we've got this geyser right here. So pretty much our game plan is to get as many tags, again, as many tags as we can before we have to use the geyser. And then when we use any kind of movement, whether it be a rift, a pad, or a geyser, we always make sure we go at the same time. Always make sure we land together. It's the most important thing. So zone comes. We go, okay, let's go. Let's leave before things get too messy, before we start taking storm damage. Let's leave. And we pretty much just want to land as close to the zone as we can. That's like our number one goal, is to save mats by landing as close to the zone as possible. Like, we don't want to land all the way back in this side of the zone or anything like that. The closer we can land, the better. So I like to use metal. Again, same reason, just to deter people from spraying you. Open up that bad boy and try and get some more tags. Should always be looking for free beams. Early rotates are so important. These are free kills. If they have less shield, they're free kills, free elements, free points. Really important that you use good positioning to maximize your damage output. So always talking to each other. So cover says, yo, can you come up one? I say, yeah, that's fine, no worries. Are you ready to pad? He's like, yep, we can pad this. Because basically we know that the zone's pulling back over the top of us now. So our goal is to use as little mats as possible. So we legit landed here in these two 1x1s. We're using a little bit more out the side. And we're just going to use pads. You can see cover's got 2 pads. Trying to conserve as many mats as we can. Use the pad to get up into zone. So the pad comes out. It gets blocked from the ramp over the top of the guy. So I'm like, oh no. So I have to shoot it out. Cover lands again. Then we pad for real this time. Make sure we both land together. Super smooth ground up here for us to land on, which puts us way above a lot of people down on the ground, which is exactly what we need. So we come flying in. Nice little B-hop gets us a little bit further. And again, same thing. We're just chilling. We got another pad. We don't need to get too crazy. We just need to save our mats, get a good position, and then use the pads to really look for high ground. So we're just chilling. Zone comes up, and then it goes back down where we came from, back down towards the mud pits. So we know it pulls back over this high ground. So we're just chilling in our boxes. Zone comes. All right, put the pad down. Let's do the pad. Making sure we're both together for it. Just out here. Easy clap. Put that down. And then pretty much as soon as we get up, it's free high ground. We saw it straight away. We fly up and we go, look, high ground for free. Land on it, land on it, land on it. Okay. So we land on it. Make sure we have it. And then our number one focus is always people landing above us. So we're always got to be careful of these kind of people flying in, landing in above us. One of the things I always try and do is try and stay on a singular flat or a pyramid. I don't like to sit on ramps, especially with low field of view. It's really hard to see everything around you, especially hard on a ramp. So I like to stay on a flat as much as possible and always shoot up. Just trying to pressure people in the air. Make sure we have that high ground. There's still a lot of people. So one of our main things that we go to is cover will focus on our rotation. And I'll focus on hitting some shots. Focus on pressuring the people in the air. So here we take it nice and slowly. Once we have high ground, we try and use as little mats as possible. We'll take high ground every single chance we get. We'll try and use as little mats as possible. So just single tarp out, drop down, follow the people underneath us. You see already we were really high. The next players were quite far underneath us, so we had to drop pretty much straight away. So we just follow the people underneath us. Always mouse one, always mouse one. Make sure you're always applying pressure. If you know there's not a good chance of you getting like double edited down, you can run across their builds and then you can reconnect them. Generally, you want to try and do 2 walls, not one. 2 walls, one here and then one here like this. Just to give it a double connection to make it harder for people to try to shoot out. But this is a good thing you always want to do. You always want to connect your high ground to the people lowest or the people just underneath you. So we're on slightly split layers. So say come up, come up. Let's play the same layer. And again, we're just always shooting down. Always shooting down. So I go down to him. I make sure I block the square so we can't get people landing above us. When we know people drop, we drop down onto their builds. Always maintaining height, but staying just above the people underneath us and always keeping the pressure on. Always mouse one. So we got 65 builds left and the zone, it goes back. It goes back across the build. So the number one thing that I always remember when the zone goes back is to have a look at the highest builds. Because you don't want people to be sneaking up around the back, people padding up to high ground and landing on builds above you. Always want to make sure that when zone goes back across existing builds, you pay attention to what builds are the highest in zone. Again, mouse one, same thing. Spray them down. Speed it up. Basically, our goal is to get as many elimination points as we can. Always follow the people underneath us and make sure we're paying attention to what builds are highest in zone. So pretty much it's just the spray fest here. We'll make sure we're following the people underneath us, so we drop down a little bit. Make sure we're nice and connected. We've got a bit of extra builds here that we probably don't need. The lobby starts to thin out pretty quickly. That guy's going for a campfire, so we spray him down. Always stick it together. Never, we don't really drop down. We didn't drop down for a lot of shotgun kills when we had high ground in these games because it's really easy for it to go wrong. So we just pretty much focus on AR and SMG mouse 1 to apply all the pressure we need, and then focus on rotations. So zone goes back up again. Pretty unfortunate for these guys. But again, you see, I'm turning around, I'm looking up. The number one focus is the builds. Pre-existing builds. What are the highest builds? Can anyone take those builds? Can they yoink height for free? Really important to remember that. So we climb back up the hill. And yeah, mouse 1. Follow each other. Stay on top. Zone starts to go up the hill, so we start having a look at how we can box people off. Getting as many tags as we can on the end. And then we drop down together and finish it. And that was our win in that one. 6 kills a pop. First place. And that was our first game. So pretty standard. Using launch pads to avoid using mats. Sitting on geysers when you have the chance. Always applying pressure and trying to get kills through mouse 1. Keeping one wall weak on your 1x1 at a time. Sticking together and not overcommitting to kills. That was pretty much how we won the first game. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Use code MF-Twiz in the shop. And let me know if you want to see more. Thanks.